Very, very beautiful occasion to articulate once again, no? Especially for me, about the BEC and putting it in the context of our 5th centennial celebration of Christianity, and especially in times of pandemic. Di ba? Magandang pagkakataon. Now, I will approach this sharing in 45 minutes this way. First, I want to see, no, and lead you to acknowledge or to recognize our own giftedness as a diocese. Importante yan eh. And then, we will talk about ano ang naging papel ng BEC, no, dito sa mission natin sa local na simbahan ng Novaliches. And then, pangtatlo, ano ang dapat, no, magawa pa ng parokya, no, in terms of hindi lang in celebrating the 5th centennial of Christianity, but in the mission, no, to pursue the mission of the church, no, di ba? And then, and the last part, I will have some points for siguro challenges, no, for us, no, especially as a church, no, kung saan mang level, BEC, parish or diocese, lalo na sa panahon ng pandemic. So that's what I want to share with you, mga general points. Some of these topics or that I will mention, pwede natin ipurso sa pag-aaral natin in the future, no? But I would just want to give you the general points in this. So, ano ba itong sinasabing giftedness of the diocese? I want to share this with you. No? Una, our own population, our own people. Para sa akin, gift yan eh. No? In 2015, there was this data. Mga 6 years ago, we have to update this data. But anyway, importante lang ang mensahe na dito sa Novaliches, dami talaga tayong parishioners. Magre-range na yan ng 2.7, maybe 3 million na, up to date. And 70% of these people are poor. Para sa akin, gift yan. And then, we have a very rich history in Novaliches. No? And I want you to siguro pursue this, no? The whole idea of tala, New Light, Novaliches. Di ba? Very rich ang history ng ating simbahan. Bago pa nag-diocese ito, may kwento na. No? And you know, that the whole idea of tala, New Light. Magandang tingnan yan. Para sa akin, gift yan. Of course, mga pari natin. May 3 na tayong obispo, marami tayong mga diocesan and religious priests managing our parishes and ministries. They are gifts. The sisters, madaming-daming mga congregation of sisters in Novaliches. Like sila Sister Zeni and her group. Diba? Isa sa mga religious groups yan sa ating diocese. And they are gifts to us. And then, of course, our lay people, especially volunteers. Thousands of them in the diocese. Para sa akin, they are gifts. They are gifts. And of course, the BECs. No? Tinatanong ko yung ating mga BEC team, ilan na ba ang estimate number of BECs? Different levels. Bukloran, Kawan, Pamayanan. Di ba? Yan ang ating levels of organization ng BEC. Ang dami. Pero nakita ko lang doon yung Kawan. More than 1,000 kawans already all over the diocese. Gifts yan. Okay? So because, tingnan nyo yung ang laki ng ating diocese. We have 71 parishes and 2 mission areas. Tapos we subdivided into 12 vicariates. No? Ayan. So makikita natin, these are gifts to us that we are given this kind of opportunity. And then, para sa akin, in order to do a mission in this local church, we need to appreciate our giftedness. Kasi sabi nila, kung hindi daw tayo marunong tumanggap ng regalo at i-appreciate yan, may hirapan din tayo magbahagi. Ibig sabihin kong gifts, we recognize na lahat ng bagay na yan hindi nanggaling sa atin. May pinanggalingan, may giver. And the only way for us to appreciate is to thank the giver. And because we want to thank the giver, we want to share. I want to emphasize that. Unless we learn to appreciate that these things are gifts, we will never learn to share in the mission. Kasi kung sabihin natin, ako may kagagawan nito. Kung wala ako, walang nangyayari. Kapag may ganung pananaw, hindi mo na ma-appreciate na may mga dumadating na regalo outside of yourselves. So yan, point yan, no? So we look at our people, no, as gifts, not just a resource. Importante yan. And then, since they are gifts, they are treasured. Inaalagaan natin sila. Di ba kung kapag tingin natin sa isang tao ay regalo, hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan yan, di ba? And, I want to say this, that's a good spirit in our diocese. We treat people, we treat these things, our gifts, and we learn to care, to love, and to care for them. I want to emphasize that. And then I want to add 2 things. Tawag ko nitong moments, very important moments in our life. I consider this also as gifts. Una, in 2004, March 22 in 2004, there was an urban summit held in the Cathedral of the Good Shepherd. Almost 1,000 urban poor, no, coming from 51 parishes at that time. Nagsimula tayo ng 51 parishes. So may mga representatives sa bawat parokya. Ang fruit, ang result ng summit na yon ay may 4 na areas of concerns or needs na yan din ang naging basihan ng pagbuo natin ng pastoral program, especially in the area of social action. So una, land and housing, yung major concerns yan. No? Pangalawa, livelihood and employment. Tapos, pangtatlo, restorative justice. O, Sister Saini, no? Doon nang galing yun, yung RJ natin, no? So, yan. Naalala nyo, under sa restorative justice, lumabas na yung prison care, justice and peace, drug rehab. 2004 pa lang, no, lumabas na yun. And then, family and life concerns. Dito, nagsimula ang marami nating mga special programs. The like ng Children and Women, PCCBA. Di ba? Persons with disability, empowered. Healthcare, education and scholarship, overseas Filipino workers and their families, elderly environment, natural family planning. Nabanggit yan sa summit. At ang pangalawang movement na mahalaga para sa atin, no, parang gift na ito sa tingin ko, na in March 11 to 12, 2005, we held the first pastoral assembly in the diocese, and the purpose of that assembly was to draft the vision mission of Novaliches Diocese. At ito yung lumabas na vision. Alam nyo na ito, di ba? That we are the local church of Novaliches, Christ-centered community of disciples responding to the needs of the people, journeying with the Blessed Virgin Mary towards the newness and fullness of life. Ayan, yan ang vision natin. But I want you to focus on the mission. There are 3 missions of the diocese. No? 1, promote integral evangelization. That's why all our mga formations nakatutok dyan eh. No? Pangalawa, to form servant leaders. And then third, to uplift the life of the poor. Kasi alam natin, majority of the population or the parishioners of Novaliches are poor. So there is that focus on the poor. So 3 yan. Kapag tinanong tayo, anong mission ng Novaliches Diocese? 3 lang. Integral evangelization, servant leadership, upliftment of the poor. Tapos, ginawa natin ang BEC as strategic way, a strategic approach is our strategy in order to realize the mission of promoting integral evangelization, forming servant leaders, and uplifting the life of the poor through BEC. Kaya nakita natin yung kahalagahan ng BEC, ha? Kaya nibanggit ko ito kasi we want to discuss later the role of this BEC in our life as a diocese. So yan, ang BEC naging strategic approach. Sabihin natin, a vehicle, a way to realize the mission. Okay? Yan. Tawag natin ngayon the main pastoral thrust of the diocese para maisakatuparan natin ang ating mission. Of course, ang ating layunin talaga, long-term direction, na sana after realizing the mission, we have a real development and transformation in our local church. So, yan ang mission. So, tingin ko dito, the reality in the diocese, our population, the parishes, the poor, the clergy, the religious, the lay people, are all gifts. Plus these 2 movements. Marami pa tayong nangyaring assembly sa diocese, no? Marami yan. But I just present these 2 movements in order to lead you to go into the appreciation of the BEC as our pastoral thrust or as our strategic approach in realizing the mission. Okay? Now, I borrowed some ideas from the Second Plenary Council of the Philippines. No? The framework of a renewed church. And there are four important things there. But I want you to focus on what's inside the circle. These are areas of our life. Religious life, political life, socio-cultural life, economic life. Yan naman ang buhay natin. No? And then, the Diocese of Novaliches as a local church, no, with our mission, we want to renew our church, our life as a church. Ang tama-tama, we need to have a good vision and mission and spirituality. I want you to focus on the fourth aspect down the line. BEC as an expression of renewal. That's what PCP2 is talking about. It was a blessing also. It was a gift that I was able to participate in the 3-year preparation before PCP2. It was a nationwide survey, group discussions on the life of the church. And BEC was highlighted. So nakita doon, BEC an expression, and then we will talk about it. Now we go to the role of the BEC. Muna, elements of renewal, I just want you to remember this. Kapag sinasabi natin na nagkaroon ng process of renewal ang ating simbahan, ano ang dapat nating tingnan? Kasi sabi natin, ay nagbago na ang simbahan namin. Ano yung dapat nating tingnan, masabi natin nagbago na? Okay? Una, yung parokya ba natin, yung simbahan ba natin, may vision, mission. Malinaw ba yan? Di ba? Ang ating bang parokya ay may spirituality. At ang sinasabi sa Renewed Church ng PCP2, dapat ang spirituality natin ay is a balanced spirituality. No, hindi lang yung privistic or spiritualistic thing. But tawag doon sa PCP2, spirituality of social transformation. It is the integrated way of life. Okay? And then, process. I will discuss that later. Mayroon doon role ng BEC as a process to do the process. And then, of course, leadership. What kind of leadership we have in the parish or in the diocese? Is it participative, liberating, transforming leadership? Diba? And then, programs. What are the programs in the church? No? Yan. May programa ba? Diba? Lalo na sa pandemic ngayon. Tapos, of course, structure. Anong klaseng structure mayroon tayo? Okay, so these are the elements that we have to look at when we go into the renewal of our church. Okay? Now, roles of the BEC. Number 1, balikan ko yung sinasabi. Una, as an expression of renewal. Narinig natin, minsan nababasa natin, a new way of life as a church. Di ba? Pero when we go back to the document, PCP2 number 137, sinasabi dito, our vision of the church as communion, participation, and mission, about the church as a priestly, prophetic, and kingly people, and as a church of the poor, a church that is renewed, is today finding expression in one ecclesial movement. This is the movement foster basic ecclesial community. Hindi akin yan, ha? PCP2 yan. Philippine Church yan. Na kinikilala nila through the long years of experience in different parts of the country, naramdaman nila na itong BEC as a movement of the church is really becoming an expression of renewal in the mission. Okay? So tandaan nyo ha, number 1, the role, expression. Second, BEC as an instrument for social transformation. Dito, babanggitin ko sa ating buhay bilang simbahan, look at our parishes. Hindi ba ang ating mga parokya, mga malalaki? Minsan ang isang parokya, 100,000 population. Magkakakilala kaya yan sila, mga parishioners? Ilan na nagsisimba? Ngayon, pandemic, wala na ng online lahat. But nung normal years, normal days, kung 100,000 yung population sa isang parokya, ilan lang talaga ang doon? Ang aktibo, ang magkakakilala. Kaya nakikita natin yung reality na tinatawag nating simbahan, mga membro natin sa parokya, hindi magkakakilala, di ba? Hindi magkakakilala talaga. Ay kung hindi magkakakilala, paano mo tawagin church yun? Paano mo tawagin na i-poster yung encounter? Because the encounter brings us to the whole idea of a church. Kaya ini-emphasize ni Pope Francis yan eh. Yung culture of encounter, we need to come together eh. Now, in our big parish, mahirap gawin. Tawag noon, anonymity. We don't know each other. We are unknown to one another. Parang ganun. No? So, sinasabi dito, through BEC, binabago natin yung ganong environment. Magkakaroon ng social transformation. Okay? Mayroong dyan, mayroong article, portion ng PCP2, the description of how the environment can change through BEC. Sinasabi dito, BEC is usually emerging at the grassroots. Ibig sabihin grassroots, sa base. Halimbawa, kung ang parokya natin, itong santuario, may base ang santuario. May area to, may teritoryo ito. Ilang villages ba ito, Mons? 3 villages ang sakop ng santuario. This is the center of the santuario, the parish, or the shrine. Pero may area siya, may territory siya. Yun ang sabi natin base. Kasi basic. Grassroots minsan tinatawag noon. So, basic ecclesial communities consciously strive to integrate their faith and their daily life. They are guided and encouraged by regular catechesis. Mahalaga yung catechesis, formation ha. Poverty and their faith urge their members towards solidarity with one another, action for justice, and towards a vibrant celebration of life. Liturgy. PCP2 number 138. So, yung kahalagahan ng BEC na buuhin sa base, sa areas, to start the transformation, the renewal of the environment. Okay? Third, BEC. So, ang una expression of renewal. Pangalawa, instrument of, nakalimutan nyo na. Social transformation. Pangtatlo, BECs are grassroots structures for empowering small people. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Because BECs are small, the sense of belongingness, fellowship, mutual reciprocity and fraternal correction are more palpable at the atmosphere of effective care and concern. Doon maramdaman ng mga membro natin na kasama sila. Mahalaga yun. Kasi kung sa big parish, kapag Sunday, they are unknown to one another. Pag simba nila, pag uwi, wala na. Walang interaction. While dito sa BEC, you promote camaraderie, encounter. Maramdaman nila they belong to the church. With minimal structures, people easily take upon assignments as they handle given the resources and limitations. Ang sinasabi ko palagi dito simply, kung may BEC ka, there is always a wide room for participation. Kasi sa center natin, we cannot accommodate everybody. Di ba? Reality yan eh. We cannot accommodate everybody on the center. In terms of active participation, we have to create more spaces for participation, for involvement. Only BEC can do that. Kung mag-o-organize ka sa iba't ibang lugar ng parokya. Okay? Empowered, strategic tool for empowered participation. May level of participation eh. Di ba? Kung nagsimba ka sa main church, nag-participate ka na rin dun. Pero anong ibig sabihin ng empowered participation? Ito yon. People participation is a prerequisite for the renewal of the church and society. It is also a recognition of God's fundamental gifts of freedom and responsibility. Minsan narinig natin yung expression, sila lang ba ang anak ng Diyos? Bakit di tayo sinasali? Bakit sila lang ang palaging active? Bakit sila lang palagi ang nakakaikot kay Father? Hindi na kami makakapasok. Di ba? Hindi na kami, wala na kaming parang pagkakataon na mayroon din kaming maiambag eh. Not only of money, of time. Mayroon din kaming talents eh. Mayroon din kaming expertise eh. No? Bakit hindi kami pagbigyan? Ayan. So empowered. Ibig sabihin, sila bilang bininyagan, membro ng parokya, mayroon din silang maiambag. Ma-share sa misyon. Hindi lang tayo ang may karapatan sa misyon. Everybody has the right, has the duty, the responsibility in the mission. BEC provides for everybody to do the mission. Ayan, importante yan, no? So, panglima, ito mahalaga to, BEC provides context, perspective, and direction to all church ministries, programs, and ministries. Anong ibig sabihin nan? Ano ang purpose why we organize ministries? Why do we have programs? Liturgy, formation, social action. The threefold functions natin. Anong purpose nun? Di ba? For the community, for the church, for the people. Yun. BEC provides that context. Provides also the direction of the ministries. Noon, the old way, ito, sanay tayo dito sa simbahan eh. We sit down as volunteers, we discuss, anong program gagawin natin? After we set up the program, ang tanong natin, saan natin dalhin to? Pero ngayon, kung mayroong sa renewal ng simbahan, through BEC, ang tinatanong ganito, ano ang need nyo? Kayo dito, anong need nyo? Then you start setting up programs as a response to a need. Then, pangalawa, this is what the church wants for us. Okay? We set up the program. Saan natin dadalhin yun to be effective? Besides, may mga organizations tayo, pero not everybody is a member to the organization. Di ba? Hindi naman kami pwede CWL. Sila sisters, ganun din. But in BEC, everybody is welcome. O young and old, rich and poor. Di ba? Everybody is welcome. So sabihin mo, ay itong programang ito, itong gusto ng simbahan na gawin, formation, liturgy, kasi mayroong tayong ganun eh. Saan mo dadalhin yan? Sabi natin, kung may BEC ka, your programs can easily be implemented, appreciated, makakarating sa baba to the real members of the church. Yan ang naibibigay ng BEC kung organize ang mga communities. Talagang ma-direct mo talaga yung mga ministries properly. Hindi lang lumulutang sa center. No? May direction siya. May direction. So, that's the one thing. And hopefully, when we do that, many leaders are emerging. BEC can also be a good, tawag noon seedbed of leaders. So there are five roles that I shared with you. Maybe may marami pa dyan. But itong 5, siguro sana maalala natin, and then we can go deeper into each one in our own studies. So una, expression of renewal. Pangalawa, instrument of social transformation. Pangtatlo, grassroots structure for participation. Strategic tool for empowered participation, and then provides context, perspective, and direction for our ministries, programs, and services. Okay, we go to the last part, which is the parish. How can the parish contribute in our celebration of the 5th centennial of Christianity? Ako, emphasize ko, since the 500-year celebration is still in the pandemic, I want to make a comment here. So baka makakatulong sa atin, kung saan man tayong mga parokya. Okay. Mayroon akong sinulat dito because it is a pandemic. The pandemic puts us in an unprecedented and extraordinary situation. Di ba totoo naman yan? Extraordinary talaga ang sitwasyon natin. As a church, there is a need to be creative, exploring new ways out of the box in order to be responsive and relevant. Ganito lang. Minsan mga pare nag-usap-usap din, baka itong pandemic is also a blessing. Baka sabi natin a gift to us na wag nating sayangin. Baka ito yung panahon na ang mga parokya, tayong lahat, mag-isip. No, we should not insist on our old ways. We need to see things in a proper perspective, think out of the box, Ano ba ang kailangan ngayon? If there should be a change in structures, in our systems, in our programming, in the way we manage programs, let it be. Ang purpose dito, to be effective in the mission. Di ba? Yun lang yun eh. Paano tayo maging epektibo? So yun ang gusto kong ibanggitin dito sa unang statement. Ano ang mako-contribute ng parokya? The parish, maybe the diocese, can take the lead in trying to see how the church can be effective, can be responsive to the needs of our people today, especially during the pandemic. Para sa akin, malaking ano na yan, bagay sa celebration natin this year. It's sharing our faith, sharing our life with others during this pandemic. Para masabi nila, they are not alone in this time, or in these trying times. Okay? It is also where, I will borrow the words of Pope Francis. There was a meeting of Caritas International I attended, and our Secretary General shared this to us, which is also the sharing of Pope Francis to the Secretariat, transmitted to us sa International Council. Itong sabi niya, it is imperative for us, church, to think the future. Hindi niya sinabi about the future. Think the future. Mag-isip tayo. Tapos mayroon siyang dinagdag dito. This is open for reflection. We cannot get out of this pandemic without the poor being served. Ini-emphasize ni Pope Francis na during this pandemic, to be true to our mission as a church, we should accompany the poor. The poor should not be left behind during this pandemic. How will the parish do that? We leave it to the creativity of each parish, of each diocese or local church, and even to the BEC. Importante lang, this 500 years celebration of Christianity with the theme Gifted to Give. I think during this pandemic, the poor have a lot to ask for. And I'm sure we have a lot to give, to share in the mission for them. And hopefully, the poor can also be agents, companions in the journey. So, gusto kong i-emphasize yan first, paano mag-contribute ang parokya. Yan. Don't leave the poor in your work. Liturgy, formation, social action, even building communities. The building communities of the poor is a strategic way of accompanying the poor. It's not just giving. Pwede naman tayo magbigay. How long? How long? Sa simbahan natin, mayroon tayong tatlo. I will continue. Continue to become a renewed church through developing and nourishing BECs. Yan ang aking request sa mga parokya. I learned that there are different levels of BECs in the parishes. May mga parokya na marami na silang mga BECs. May mga parokya na hanggang team lang muna. Wala pang mga communities. Pero may mga parokya walang-wala talaga. Di ba? Pero sa akin, today, in this celebration of 5 years of Christianity, especially in the times of pandemic, pwede ba? Seryosohin natin ang ating mission, and we have to do it with our poor people, building them into communities to be empowered so that they can actively participate in the life and ministry of the church. Yan, pangalawa. The parish can contribute in that. To make the parish as a real place of building and sustaining relationship, of forming and developing servant leaders, creating and renewing structures of love and care and compassion. Pwede ba yung parokya natin, yung na may process siya, ongoing siya, umuunlad siya, no? You build, you sustain, you form, and you develop them, let them exercise their leadership, and then create and recreate structures that are relevant to the situation. We should not insist. Mayroon akong biro nun eh. Kasi may mga programs tayo na very effective noon. But mayroon ng bagong sitwasyon, may mga nag-emerge na bagong programs, di ba? Mayroong iba kasi for the sake lang of reviving, kaya mayroon akong paring kausap sa ibang diocese yun. Ini-insist niya na i-revive yung isang, parang kursilyo. No? Sabi ko, ang kursilyo, patok na patok yan before. Oo. So baka i-tweak, no? I-review ang content and process. And, relate it to the situation today. No? Ayan. Tapos, ito, narinig nyo na ito sa akin mga leaders. We make our parish as a living and life-giving community. Prophetic and ministering. Kasi karamihan ng mga parish communities natin, to borrow again the words of Cardinal Chito Tagle, wala tayong problema sa mga volunteer sa liturgy Ngayon, sa totoo lang, may magandang formation modules ang ginawa ang ating formation commission. 4 modules yon for ongoing formation on discipleship, servant leadership, stewardship, and mission. I don't know, Mons, kung sino talaga seryoso dun. Pero how can you be a life-giving community if you are not really leveling up your liturgical celebrations and without deepening our spirituality and also expand our knowledge, information, and values, develop the values, and we can only do that through formation. Even in the pandemic, we can do that naman Kaya ang social media is very important. Okay? So yan ang sa akin. If the parish, legacy natin, do it starting this year, i-download, i-cascade na lang ninyo yung formation modules natin. Okay na yun. Upgrade the liturgical celebration online. We can contribute to the mission. Tapos, make the parish as an agent of development and social transformation. Ito yung aking sinasabi kanina na, hindi lang tayo bigay ng bigay. No? Di ba development? We help people to realize that they have resources, help them to stand by themselves, help them to walk, and hopefully, they are developed. Di ba? Hindi lang tayo bigay ng bigay. Humanitarian yan Okay? So ito, Yan ang sinasabi sa atin. I-revisit natin ang Paris Vision Mission natin at ang ating mga programs. Para maging epektibo tayo sa mission, let us see what are our works of mercy. Humanitarian yan. Ngayon, common yan dito sa atin because of the pandemic. And these are good things, no, that we do. Because there are many people talaga. Maraming gutom. Maraming gutom talaga. Maraming nangangailangan ng tulong. And we should continue to do that. But we should also go into development programs. No? Kaya sa diocese ngayon, pinupush natin. Well, baka maging legacy rin ito. We will discuss that next week. We have to put up a cooperative in the whole diocese to handle the marketing of goods that we can get from other dioceses for our people. Development. Scholarship. That's also development program. Mayroon tayong mga education program. Sana mga parokya, think about that, no? Kahit pakunti-kunti, start a development program this year. That's our contribution. Legacy natin yan. Works for justice and peace. Ito yung mga advocacy natin. No? Ano ba mga advocacy natin ngayon? Environment, urban gardening, di ba? Tapos land and housing. We are helping families who will be dislocated because of the development programs. We are helping them. We advocate the rights. Advocate the Laudato Si, no, about environment. We advocate justice and peace. We advocate about for the protection of human life. Di ba marami tayong advocacy? So, importanteng ang simbahan ay mag-involve dyan. Mission natin yan eh. No? Tapos, ito, the parish, to do this, the parish has to undergo the process of structuring where the lay at the base are responsible in deciding on matters that directly affect their lives. If this happens, the whole environment of the parish changes. They are now in the position to shape the quality of their environment. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, maganda naman yung sinasabi natin, let us organize BACs in our areas. Pero kung hindi rin natin binabago yung sistema natin sa center, yung process, wala rin. Wala rin nangyari. Pangalawa, where do you put your resources? Kasi minsan, parang sideline na lang yung organizing ng community, programs ng community. Anong ini-emphasize natin? No? Yung magandang altar, gigibain para magbagong altar na naman. More of physical. No? Sana, Mons, kung umalis ka dito, ang papalit dito, hindi nagigibain to. Mag-concentrate na lang sa pagbubuo ng mga communities. Tinapos mo na itong simbahang bato eh. Dapat ang sunod simbahang tao. Di ba? May mga ganun tayong pagsasalita eh. Complementing each other. Yan ang growing eh. The parish should get into it. So sa akin, makakontribute talaga ang parokya kapag pag-aralan kung ano yung trust ng parish, BEC, and then if there are adjustments to make, we have to make. Make sure that the lay people are given the opportunity to have an empowered participation in the life of the parish, life and ministry of the parish. Ito, naisip ko lang ito because of the pandemic. Marami tayong mga leaders na because of so many constraints, no, kahit gusto pa nila mag-serve, hindi na pwede eh. Bakit? May mga restrictions na. So, but we don't want naman the parish to be paralyzed. And I'm sure there are many parishioners who are willing also to serve. Maybe this is a good point for the parishes. No? Can we also come up with a program for volunteers? Develop our new volunteers. without naman forgetting the old ones. Maybe kung mag-normal na, we will see what we will have. No? Pero sa ngayon, sa pandemic, is more challenging. And we need more people who are going to do the work kasi marami talagang gagawin natin sa mission ngayon. And we need more volunteers. And ako, naisip ko, mag-come up tayo ng program. BEC. Baka pag-isipan nyo. So recruiting yan, forming, and capacitating every volunteer. Lastly, ito, nabanggit na ito ni Father Luciano, let us improve our technology in social media, maximize its use for our evangelization work. So, conclusions, challenges, last point. No, ganito lang yung aking mga siguro for you to reflect on. Everybody, either poor or rich, needs a community, longs for a sense of belongingness. Kasi mayroon kasing idea na, ang BEC, effective lang yan sa mga mahihirap. No. Parang hindi naman ganun ang concept ng BEC. Kasi kahit sino, nangangailangan ng community. Sense of belonging. Everybody needs that. So, pwede ba na even in gated villages, pwede naman tayo magbuo ng community. I've tried that personally. I can mention to you many communities that I've been around na until now, that community is still doing fellowship regularly because they need one another. Pangalawa, we realize that to be Christians this time, especially during this pandemic, it is not enough for us to do rituals. We have to care for others, for the community, and for our common home, the environment. The BECs are not only worshiping communities. Kasi mayroong sabi kasing iba, ay nag-Bible sharing na kami, nag-prayer meeting na kami, okay na, BEC na kami. Simplistic outlook yan. Dapat ang BECs natin kumplito. It's a worshiping, serving, no? And forming communities. Prophetic communities. Dapat integrated. No? Because that's the only way to transform our life. Number 3, BECs change the environment of the neighborhood. Kung mayroon kang BEC, magbago talaga yung kapaligiran, yung community. The members are empowered to confront their situation and to respond to it by using their own resources. And they are truly empowered. And my brothers and sisters, you know, the church, is gifted of so many things. And we are all gifts to the church. At sana, let us share these gifts for the church to do her mission effectively for others. Thank you very much.